Good afternoon. My name is Kirkpatrick, and I will be doing my visual aid speech over how to shoot a soccer ball. I have played soccer for 10 years and was on rec teams and tournament teams for those 10 years and thought this would be a great topic to choose. The three main things you have to remember when learning how to shoot a soccer ball correctly is making sure you plant your foot, making contact with the ball with the correct part of your foot, and leaning forward and following through the ball with your foot. Now, I will go into this in more detail in just a second, along with using pictures of Mia Hamm to demonstrate. Mia Hamm is undeniably one of the greatest women's soccer players in the world. She played for the North Carolina Tar Heels and was also on the United States women's national team for many years. Now, let's go over the three main topics again. Planting your foot, making contact correctly, and posture and following through. When planting your foot, you want to plant your non-dominant foot next to the ball. You also want your toe to be pointing towards the direction that you want the ball to go. This will help guide your dominant foot in making sure you make contact with the ball and the ball will go in the correct direction. Secondly, when making contact, you want your foot to be pointed down and your toe to be towards the ground. You also want your laces to be parallel with the ball. When making contact, you want to make contact with the middle of the ball and your laces. This will make sure the ball goes in the correct direction and making sure you don't make contact with your toe, which could end up breaking your toe. Now, posture and leaning forward go hand in hand. You want the correct posture, leaning forward over the ball and making sure that this will make sure that the ball does not go directly in the air and it will go in the goal. Lastly, following through. You want your foot to follow all the way through the ball even after you've made contact. This will keep your momentum and strength going and you'll land on your dominant foot. Now, let's look at some pictures of Mia Hamm demonstrating these three steps. In our first picture, she is running towards the ball and planting her foot directly next to the ball. Her toe is pointed forward and that is where the ball will go. Secondly, her dominant foot is swinging back. This will give her as much strength as possible and the ball will go as far as she can make it. Her toe is pointed down and her laces are directly parallel with the ball. She will make contact with the middle of the ball and the ball will go as far as it can in the correct direction. Now, in our next picture, Mia Hamm the ball has just left her foot and she has made contact, and so it is in the air. Her posture is correct as she is leaning forward over her leg and towards the ball. This keeps the ball from going directly in the air and going over the goal. It does go in the air a little bit, but it just goes over the defender's head and is into the goal. Lastly, she is following through with her foot. As you can see, she has come off the ground a little bit, but her foot is following all the way through, and she will land on this foot, which is her dominant foot that she kicked the ball with. Now let's recap. The three main things that you want to remember when kicking a soccer ball are planting your foot next to the soccer ball, making sure you make contact with your foot with the ball in the middle of the ball and your laces with your foot pointed down. And lastly, making sure your posture is correct as you are leaning over your body and towards the ball and following through with your foot after you make contact with the ball and landing on it. If you remember these three steps, just as Mia Hamm has, you too could be one of the world's greatest women's soccer players. Now go out there and start practicing. Thank you.